tattoos. It's about tattoos. And I don't mean subtle tattoos. I don't mean like, you know, the little ones, the personal ones that people have, like Ruth's got there on the shoulder. I've noticed that. Like, who's got a tattoo? Who's going to be offended if I read this out? But in the 90s, I had the pleasure of living in Clockface for 2 or 3 years in the mid-90s. I think it was about 93 to 96 or something like that. And I had the pleasure of actually living. I was a neighbour of Phil Nickel. He was the ex-Poison Electric guitarist, and at the time he was learning his trade to be a tattooist. And he used to have people in his kitchen, and he was tattooing them. He's a fucking brilliant artist anyway, and a great musician. Like, I haven't seen him really since then. I haven't seen him for years because he moved to Birkenhead, I think. Did he move to the Wirral? Yeah. He's like a tattooist there, and I'm sure, you know, he's a fucking genius there as well. So I have a lot of respect for the art of tattoos, but this is just like an observational, tongue-in-cheek mini rant, really, about they seem to have gone from being really personal to every fucker's got them there. It's not really an expression of individuality anymore, is it really? Because you know. So anyway, so this is called Tattooed 2. Loads of blokes have tattooed arms these days. I noticed when picking up some spinach from the supermarket the other day. Loads of ladies too, at the bottom of their backs or either side of their bum cracks with sphincter. Or on their feet you can see through an open shoe. An expression of individuality, or duality, or desultory. I'm not a big fan of them. Do you? Do you have a tattoo? Good for you, yourself and thee, for expressing your individuality. I'm not big on them though, me. All needles and ink, they make my arse wink. A bag of flesh and bone popped out when you mated to be intagliated. They leave me baffled like Kafka's Explorer from In the Penal Colony, the torture device that inscribes the crimes like etching currency. Increasingly ubiquitous with every passing year, like barcodes and new bands and new roads and new brands and pissy tasting beer. Hey, I know it's not doing me, but they're in my face on display to see at every opportunity. So take this rap as an expression of my individuality. I don't know why I care. It's not like it's a sin, but I will certainly work on not letting tattoos get under my skin. And this one I wrote this week, and normally, you know what it's like writing a poem. They can fester, can't they? They can mature. You know, they can just rip off the pen and it's done. Or you can be working them around for a while and then you just get it, you know. And this one is, I only wrote it this week, so bear with me a little bit. And it's about being starstruck. It's about being, when you meet someone you really admire, I mean, it's very, very rare when it happens, isn't it? When you actually bump into someone that you really, really respect, and then you fucking fluff it. See what I mean? And it happened to me, actually. It happened to me a few weeks ago. I went watching The Laureate at the Central Library in St. Helens. The fucking poet laureate was at the Central Library in St. Helens. Like, and it was said that they was going to have a question and answer session at the end. And I had about 4 or 5 questions, what I thought were really fucking good ones as well. But as it ended up, she was really good as well, I must admit, she was brilliant. Like. And she didn't do a question and answer session, not like stood on stage, like, any questions, you know, all that. Like, she said, well, I'm going to do a book signing and then you can ask me a question there. Which was like a really fucking crafty way of signing books, like, you know what I mean? But what I did, and I was first in the queue really, right? And do you know what? I picked the shittest fucking question that I had to ask her, and she was more interested in my wife And my wife didn't give a fuck. She just came along. Do you know what I mean? Because like, yeah, do you want to see the riots? Yeah, I'll come along, you know. And she was nice. I love my wife. She's fucking fantastic and beautiful. Like. You know what I mean? And she was more interested in, and I was like her, like saying, yeah, my dad died a few years ago and it fucked my head up, and that's why I started writing poetry, and you know, I was just wondering, like, yeah. And she was like, that's a really nice jumper. to me, missus, like, I was like, fuck, you know. What are you talking to me here, bitch? So I'm there, like, chatting away, and she, that's a really nice jumper. And it had a butterfly on it and all that, like, she was like, thank you very much. So I really fucking fluffed it, like, you know what I mean? And then, like, when I was walking away, I said, she was more interested in your jumper than she was with my question, like, which had ballsed up. And I said, is it a designer jumper? And she said, yeah, it's Georgia Vazda. Fucking bought it from the lorry thought it was a fucking shit-up jumper. I thought my question was wank. If you want to know the question, you just ask me my story. And the thing is, that's happened recently now. And another thing's happened recently, and I think it's kind of because Fish, Marillion, is playing in St.Helens next Friday. Like, and I do like him as a poet. I think he's a good poet. And just so you don't get any pornographic images on that first line, his name is Derek William Dick. That's his real name.
Is that right?
Yeah, Derek William Dick.
Dick?
Yeah, Derek William Dick. Yeah. That's his name.
So his name's Fish?
That was his nickname, because he used to take very long baths. Apparently, so and my mate Messer, right, he's a Messer, like, Kev's in a band with Messer, Genghis Khan.
Messer's in my band.
Yeah, well, Messer went watching him a few months ago. So there might be a part 2 to this after next week. and like, well, he kind of halfway through a song, halfway through the gig, like, he kind of came down in the audience, and he's like walking through it, and Messer was like, oh, fucking hell, fucking Fish, it's Fish. So, and he was like, Fish looked at him, and Messer said, you're a starfish. And he just fucking looked at him like, starfish. And he was like, oh. You come face to face with someone that you really admire and you fucking fluff it. You know what I mean? So I wrote this really about that, really. And it's called Starfish. Right. And like I said, just I had to clear that Derek William Dick thing up. In that first line, so the ladies don't get any pornographic images on the first line. So here we go, Starfish. Derek William Dick, with his presence so big, sauntered through his audience in the middle of his gig. What will Messer say? He's idolised him for years. What would be profound and music to his ears? You're a starfish. That's what he said. You're a starfish. A rock and pool veteran, a barracuda bona fide crustacean. But you are a starfish. Not a starfish, but a Scots dish. I could only wish to be as good a poet as thee. Oh, hide the knee. Messer felt a bit of a tit then. He just got a sideways glance. He could have said something better than that. He may never get another chance. Next week he might do. Sometimes it seemed like he'd been here before when he saw those opportunities fishing at his door. Call it starfish in the sea. Call it sushi too. He just put his faith in destiny and didn't get too blue. Oh, I didn't. He just wanted him to be pleased to meet him. If only he could have remembered his name. He felt like a citizen of Legoland, travelling without the means of communication with others. But he's not alone. He has lots of crustacean sisters and brothers. He's a starfish, not a cockle or a mussel or a flatworm or a crab, but a pentra radially kinordum, who's handy for waving down cabs. Was that love in his eyes he saw, or the reflection of his own? He never really knew for sure, he just gave forth a groan. Alas, I shouldn't poke fun too much, as it has happened to me recently when I went to see the laureate at the Central Library. I could have asked her anything to help my poetry, but picked the wrong tack that reflected answers dripping with inanity. So if you end up meeting someone whom you've admired for years, forget that they are your peers and waylay your fears. Relax and be natural. Cheers.
Thank you. Ruth and I actually went to see the laureate as well, and she had a very similar experience. Trying to come across very witty and profound.
You would tell you what I asked her. Jesus.
I'll tell you what I said.
Can I tell them what you said?
You can tell me.
Go on.
Yeah.
So she went up, you know, this is her idol, trying to be witty and profound and memorable, and she goes, that was boss.
That's what I said.
That was boss.
I said, is there such a thing as poetic licence? And if there is, can you get them at the post office?